second match of the evening in this round of 16 Group D action. It's going to be a TVZ. And spawning on the top, the top part, the upper part, the 12 o'clock position of the map. And I forgot, it's Viney Research Station, that's what it is. It's taking game one pretty convincingly against its Protoss opponent. It is representing What Make Gaming, your blue Terran player, TimeToTell. And I still don't know how to enunciate that name. Like, what consonant, like, at which point, TimeToTell, or time to, like, what do I don't, okay. In the bottom part of the map. He says he's representing NeuralisK Gaming or something like that, but he's actually representing Ascendant StarCraft League as our very own administrator. Gonna go ahead and take a 15 hatchery, 15 pool to start off. It is the Green Zerg player. I think he was season 3 finalist, or maybe he won it or something like that. I don't know. He's pretty good at this game. It is NeuralisK. And like I said, he's going to go ahead and get started with the hatchery first in that safe little position there in the bottom of the map. As a Reaper making its way out for TimeToTell. And he's going to go ahead and get a decent little scout off, as he's also going to expand in his corner of the map. And of course, this map caters to safer play. There's not really any reason to not macro early unless you absolutely have a great scout and you see what's coming early. It's one of those maps. Alter Zeme was one of the original maps that I saw where they hid the map, the natural, and the side. You had that little ramp going down it in the back as opposed to it going right out the front of it. The Reaper's going to come up here and going to go ahead and poke around these lings a little bit, do some damage in and out, and not really see much. Now he's going to go hop back into the main. But like I said, Alter Zeme was the first map that had that hidden natural, and there's really no reason to not go quick for that expansion. Of course, then that plays into the whole, well, if I do go quick, the opponent doesn't see it. That Reaper almost getting stuck on something there. But like I said, both players playing this pretty standard. NeuralisK going to go ahead and get his speed and his queens out. Not really doing anything too funky. Just going to go and keep droning up as that Reaper makes his way back to the Xel'Naga Tower in the middle. NeuralisK, of course, in typical Zerg fashion, macroing his little heart out up to 33 supply at TimeToTell's 24, as TimeToTell's second command center goes ahead and finishes up. Factory finishing up just on time for TimeToTell as well. Hopefully we're going to see some Hellions getting double proofs out of that reactor. And a second refinery going down in the main mineral line. So I assume we're going to see some Hellion Banshee play as 2 Hellions make their way out of this factory. No units as of yet, really not going real Ling heavy for NeuralisK. He's a bit of a supply block here at 36. Now he's getting his Overlord production underway. Lings starting to make their way out on the map as he takes his third. And he feels pretty safe to do so, and I would agree with that. He hasn't really faced any intense pressure. No double Reaper play as of yet. Multiple Reapers seems to be the popular thing to do for Terran on the ladder meta these days. I've been seeing a lot of it recently because I've only started getting really back into the whole StarCraft thing. I've been a bit of a casual, I'm going to admit it, but for good reason. Hellions are going to start getting their way out onto the map, and we'll see what type of map control TimeToTell starts to wrench away from NeuralisK. The 3 hatcheries means that NeuralisK is going to try and macro his little heart out. He's taken 2 extractors down in that natural, and he's trying to hide them from his Terran opponent, as his Terran opponent goes ahead and gets a Banshee out as well as Cloak. We've got 4 Hellions in the map as of right now, and 2... Nope, not 2 more on the way, so we've just got the 4 Hellions. That's a decently safe number. 6 is typically the standard, it's the golden standard, and 2 more Hellions are going to make their way out onto the map as he confirms that a 3rd hatchery has gone down. I like what he's doing here. He's got this Marine near his starport that's going to go ahead and shy away any Overlord scouts that might want to make their way in to the main. And of course, the golden standard of timing for those types of scouts is around 6 minutes. So if NeuralisK is kind of late on that timing, he's going to go ahead and get his Overlord in here at around 7:52. But now he doesn't know. I'm not sure he's really seen the Banshee. I don't know if he's got any Spore Crawlers back home. I haven't seen any in the production tab as more drones on the way. So this Banshee could get a lot of damage done if it's not dealt with in a well-timed manner. And honestly, you can't deal with it if you don't have detection So it's going to be interesting to see. NeuralisK could go ahead, transfer his drones down to his third, keep going with the economy, seemingly safe. This Overlord's going to come in and get a scout of most everything, but he sees that it's going to be bio play. He doesn't see the well, now he knows the Banshee's there. Now he knows what's going down. The Banshee making its way into the natural. It's got 1 kill, 2, not even 2 kills yet, as those Hellions get in there and roast whatever mining drones there were. He can continue to pressure with that if he wants to. The Banshee going to work on this. This is exactly picture perfect what you want to see. Hellion barbecue on the lower ground, and a Banshee doing what it does best on the hidden natural. He could go ahead and uncloak that Banshee if he wanted to. There's nothing gonna go ahead and deal with that. More Lings on the way. 27 workers on the main. He's gone ahead and pulled both worker lines from the natural and the third. He's sending Lings across the map. It's gonna do absolutely nothing. He does have Baneling speed on the way, so maybe he's going to be able to morph some into Banelings and do that sort of dance, but in all honesty, I don't know if it's going to do what it's intended to do. That's a lot of Banelings, though. Is the follow-up going to be good enough here? That's 10 Banelings morphing directly outside of TimeToTell's main base, and I don't think he sees it coming as of yet. He's going to know he's in a lot of trouble here, and this is a pretty good... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a pretty good response. He does not have... speed as of yet. The Hellions are roasting more drones, and he's going to pull drones, and he's going to attack the Hellions with the drones. Never a beautiful sight. You don't want to see that. Only 1 Hellion going down, and those Hellions have paid for themselves tenfold. These slow Banelings are going to make their way up the ramp, and they're going to explode down the 2 supply depots, making their way in. A lot of Marines are going to be able to deal with it. The Banelings detonate on the Marines. Now it's only 4 Lings making their way into the mineral line. So you got to think, you traded all of that gas and all of the investment into this Baneling bust only for literally no worker kills. So the follow-up is Lings, but we've already got 2 more supply depots going down, as well as Marine reinforcements. If the Lings do manage to break through here, GG call from NeuralisK. TimeToTell taking game 1 pretty handily. Hellions and Banshees, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't get more complicated than that. Currently down 1-0, representing Neural Gaming. It is your Green Zerg player, NeuralisK. He's won a couple of these tournaments here, so he's no stranger to these parts of the game. And in the top right-hand corner, currently undefeated tonight on a 3-0 spree. 2 of those coming against the Protoss player Acadian, and 1 of those coming against NeuralisK in the first game of this best-of-3 series. It is representing What Mate Gaming, the Blue Terran player, TimeToTell. And I think that was the best way to say his name. Just TimeToTell. Monotone, all the same timing, nothing crazy. Oh god, that's an awkward name. I can't get over it. It's too much. Reaper on the way. Drone Scout, SEB Scout. Both players kind of have a feel for what's going on in the early parts of the game here. TimeToTell is going to go ahead and get the speed timing, because as soon as that spawning pool pops up, he's going to know if he clicks on that assimilator, or extractor rather, he's going to know how much gas has been taken. So he's going to know it's going to be around 6 minutes for speed. It's going to be my estimation. And so that if TimeToTell knows that, he's going to know he's going to have a little bit of time for this Reaper to get in some scout, maybe sniper drone or 2, and of course be a general pest to the population of the Zerg player NeuralisK. NeuralisK didn't really put up much of a fight that first game, succumbing to a bit of Banshee Hellion play as he tries to control that drone away from the Reaper, and the Reaper almost getting it, not getting it. Wow, okay, so NeuralisK chasing him with some drones there, but if you think about it, all those drones were not mining at the same time. So that Reaper already doing some damage inadvertently, and he's going to go ahead and get a drone kill. So never expect a Reaper to get a drone kill, maybe a Ling kill or 2. Already paying for his life, which he's not dead yet, but paying for the money spent producing him, researching him with a good scout and a drone kill, as well as pulling some drones off the main. So you got to think of it this way, right? For those of you who are not the best at this game, and I know I'm certainly not, but one of the things that has been iterated to me by the guys who are great at this game is that the amount of time that you input into harassing pretty much is double the amount of time that your opponent is going to go ahead and spend dealing with the harassment. Simply put, there are easy ways to harass, and most ways you deal with harassment are not that easy. So if you think about it, you know, getting a Reaper in there and targeting a drone, keeping him alive, pretty easy, right? Not the hardest thing to do. It is hard to come back and continue macroing. I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world, but to keep all of your drones alive and to keep your queens hitting their injection timings, and while you're doing what you want to do, if you're going to deal with that Reaper, it's going to distract you. So every second you put into harassing is going to be 2 seconds they put into dealing with it. We do have TimeToTell and NeuralisK both at a bit of a supply block, as they're both actually really eerily similarly timed to Overlord and that supply depot finishing. 2 Hellions are going to make their way across the map here. For TimeToTell, he's going to go ahead and see if he can get any sort of salvos off. Roaches making their way across for NeuralisK, and he's going to pool drones. It's a roach bust drone pool with queen support, and the queens are not going to get there for a very long time. The Hellions see the roaches, but NeuralisK pulling all the stops, sniping the Reaper. What do we have to defend here? We have 4 more Hellions on the way. It's a lot of Hellions. They're going to try and morph into Hellbats once that armory finishes up. It's going to be some substantial amount of time before it finishes up. This is an all-in, about as all-in as I've ever seen something. Drones with... I can't even. All the drones are dead. The SCVs are repairing as best as they can on 1 Hellion, but the drones now going to start coming in, soaking up some of the damage from the Hellions. Roaches sniping away at the Hellions. They're all dead. Now the SCV's going down. Ling's getting in on top of the action. And tell you what, NeuralisK is kind of making it work here. Going to go ahead and have to deal with this. He's got a ramp that he needs to work against. The Hellions are able to get off all the volleys that they want. Not a lot of surface area for those roaches to attack up against, but the supply depot does go down. Now they're into Hellbats, and Hellbats do a hell of a lot better against roaches than Hellions do. And I think NeuralisK realizes that, down to 19 supply, and unfortunately this is about as far as she goes. That's all she wrote. NeuralisK is about to GG. Whether he knows it or not, I think he does. He's probably playing with one hand at the time. There's the GG called. TimeToTell, holding a pretty interesting all-in from NeuralisK that I think had a lot more bark than bite in the end. Unfortunately, NeuralisK going down 2 games to 0 against his TimeToTell opponent.